Well, good morning and welcome. Today we have our friends from Adesso Capital with us. We have Erica Sestock. She is a partnerships manager with the company, and Steve Orlandella. He is a lending specialist. They're going to talk to you about Adesso's lending program. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We are recording this webinar and it will be up on our website later on this afternoon, along with the slideshow presentation. And if you have any questions during the presentation, go ahead and type them into the Q&A part of your Zoom screen. Once the presentation's over with, we can go ahead and start the Q&A. And in 2 weeks, on June 26th, we have another webinar coming up with our friend Catherine Morissette. She is a member of our advisory network. As members, you are entitled to a 30-minute consultation with any of our advisors, complimentary. She is an employment attorney with Fisher Phillips and will speak on best hiring practices. So if you're interested in that, it's a members only webinar. So visit wahospitality.org and find the link to go ahead and register. Once again, that's June 26th at 10 a.m. And now I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Steve and Erica. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time today. We're excited to walk you through some of our lending solutions. I'm Erica. I'm the partnerships manager here at Adesso Capital, and I'll be leading the call alongside my colleague Steve Orlandella, who is our lending solutions specialist, as Lisa so kindly introduced us. So again, please write down and hold your questions until the end. We will definitely leave time for a Q&A. But let's get started. So being a restaurant operator is hard. You work long hours, you wear multiple hats. Sometimes you're the owner and the chef and the front of house of staff, and maybe even the delivery driver, depending on the day. So it's not really a surprise that the National Restaurant Association estimates a 20% success rate for all restaurants. And about 60% of restaurants fail in their first year of operation, and 80% fail within the first 5 years of opening. And many times this simply comes down to just a lack of capital and funding. So that's kind of why we're here, right? We're here to improve those statistics, right? We don't want your business to fall into that data set. We've been helping restaurant operators with finance solutions since 2007. And not only that, but we've partnered with over 40 state hospitality and restaurant associations and like to consider ourselves experts in lending solutions for restaurateurs. Since that time in 2007, we've secured over $1 billion in tax refunds and small business loans, and we're really excited to have this partnership with the WHA, and just continue to do the work that we do. Now, it's easy to hear the word finance or lending or funding and assume a basic understanding of what that means for an operator, but costs can be very specific. And oftentimes profit margins come down to mere pennies for folks. Throwing another statistic at you, the National Restaurant Association has cited that on average, only 3 cents remain of each dollar spent at a restaurant after the restaurant pays out operational costs, food and labor. So with changes in consumer behavior, there's an accelerated need for more efficient operating procedures, expansion, niche market segmentation, and it's hard to improve any of these areas without access to capital. At a high level, these are some of the specific instances an operator will come to us. The first being expansion or remodeling projects on an existing facility, purchasing or replenishing inventory, in need of marketing, advertising, or brand activations, upgrading or acquiring machinery, equipment, technology, liquid capital, even for day-to-day operations and payroll, and also franchising opportunities, real estate acquisitions, debt consolidations, kind of the whole picture, right? I am now going to turn it over to Steve, and he's going to walk you through more details on our solutions.
Thank you, Erica. As Erica pointed out, some of the problems that you're going to face, or maybe not really problems, but expansion, things that we look for, the daily, process of doing business. So this is where I think we fall in. We have multiple products, which we're going to go through a product set or product list of what we do, but we see about 80% of what we're doing right now in business term loans and lines of credit. And the way you want to kind of think on this is, for instance, if you're doing an expansion project, excuse me, and you need some money this month for basically painting or doing some carpeting, the next month you can do furniture and fixtures, that could be a line of credit. You don't need this money all at once. You can take it in increments. And so we're doing very well with lines of credit. People are getting ready to uh, get ready for the season, I guess, putting something together as far as this summer is concerned. I also do a lot of lines of credit for the holidays. Something to think about because quite obviously, whether you're doing it now or getting ready for the holidays, which is the busiest time of year, I gather, for the hospitality business. We do a lot of business with the liquor stores. We do a lot of business with the restaurants because they're getting ready for extra help. They're getting ready for big parties, things on that idea. Also, the term loan could work as well, but you have to think of that as a lump sum of money. If you need to get that capital, you want it all at once, this would be a business term loan. Now, we work with multiple lenders and we offer multiple solutions. What we don't like to do is take your applications and what we call shotgun. We like to get it right the first time. And though we have 17 different lenders doing term loans, we get a feel for your business, your wants, your needs, and we try to put it into the right solution from the start. Next slide. This is actually what we offer. And like I say, I see a lot of more now lines of credit than term loans. Equipment financing, we do a lot of business with some POS companies. So point of sales, which are not cheap any longer, especially with the handhelds that are out there. Equipment financing might be the answer. SBA, we still do SBA, and sometimes it works for people when they're looking for a long term, 10-year terms. They actually have something now. It's called Bolt or Streamline. It's under 150 and below, and I believe it goes up to 10 years, and it's a little quicker. SBA is going to take anywhere between 45 to 60 days. It does take a long period of time. Right now, the prime rate is at 8.25. And so you can see rates below there. That's what they add on to that. So right now, SBA is not the solution it used to be. We're getting favorable rates with lines of credit, and we're getting favorable rates with terms as well with the relationships that we have. So if you need capital quickly, and I do mean quickly, I'm going to give you a yes or no answer in 24 hours. We've actually funded people. This is from application to money in their bank in 2 to 3 days. So one of the true components about this type of lending is the quickness of funds. And I've been in your shoes. I owned restaurants. I used to work for restaurants, and piece of equipment goes down. You now need the money yesterday. So this is a great solution for those who need capital quickly, or just capital in general. But again, these are some of the programs that we're working with. AR financing, mostly for manufacturing. I would consider, again, lines of credit, term loans. Think of that line of credit again as taking them in increments, and the term loan sort of all at once. Next slide, please. So determining eligibility is something we do pretty quickly. As I mentioned, 24 hours. We have a DocuSign application that would go out. So basically, it's going to be you speaking to a loan specialist. We're taking down some minimal information, which you probably have anyways, because we now receive that information through the process we have with Washington Hospitality. Credit scores, we do soft pulls. When it gets into hard underwriting, a couple of the lenders will do a hard pull. Most of the lenders these days do a soft pull. Credit is part of the process. It doesn't actually, unlike a bank, determine the process. We do have some, plateaus, but our program starts at 550 FICO. That's pretty low. Not to insult anybody out there, but in the meantime, prime is at 620, so subprime is still possible to get money. We're going to ask for 4 months bank statements. We're going to ask for a tax return. That minimal information will get what I call a soft offer. That'll just more or less something I can tell you, you've been approved for X amount of dollars. Now, the true underwriting will start after that. But based on what you gave me, and again, the tax return is just used to find out who actually owns the business, not really based on the numbers that you put in there, because we know people are we're taking chances with our tax return to start with. But in the meantime, they just need that to find out who is the owner. But the 4 months bank statements will get a soft offer. They take a look at what they feel is, one way or the other. And one way of looking at this too is whatever you're actually averaging per month in deposits, that's where about you'll be with one of these loans, the term loans anyways. That's not promised. It could be more, it could be less, but depending on, the strength of the file, time in business is very, very key here. Though we have programs that start as low as 2 or 3 months in business. So once again, we've expanded on who we can help. It's not just the guy that's been in there for 2 years. It's got the 650 FICO score. We're starting our FICO at 550. We're starting our eligibility at basically 2 to 3 months. Our line of credit actually starts at 1 month, but they like to see a little bit more than that to get a good offer. Next slide, please. So the process itself, basically, once you get some basic information through the process with WHA, we're going to be reaching out to you, but you have also the opportunity to schedule an appointment with us, which I really suggest that you do. Put something together on your time when you can make the time. Taking a phone call while you're in the middle of, I know you're always in the middle of something as a restaurateur. You're going to actually sit down, talk to one of us. Loan specialists will get to know you a little bit. You'll get to know where we see you going. This is called the discovery stage. And not only are we discovering more about you, but you can discover about what we can offer and how we can help you. Once we have that information I spoke of, and that is a DocuSign application, and that is going to be the 4 months bank statements, tax return. We can come up with an offer, and basically we again have 17 different lenders. So we'd like to take this application. If it doesn't work with one, we're going to move on to another, but we'll always keep you informed, because this is not tech touch. You're going to be speaking to somebody. You're going to have a loan specialist dedicated to your file, and you can ask the questions and you're going to get the answers from somebody, and it's not going to be recorded. Hopefully everything goes well in a matter of 7 days to 14 days. And again, I've seen it in 3 days. You'll be receiving funds in your account. Payback, or the way we capture funds, or the lenders capture funds these days, is done through a daily ACH, automated clearing house. Monday through Friday, they take a small increment out of the business checking account. Now, it's not really felt because you're not signing that big check at the end of the month. So we have about an 74 to 80% renewal rate. At 50% pay down, the lenders may ask you if you need more capital. A lot of them will just say, that was easy, let me do that again. They really don't feel it. It's not a pinch every day that you're going to feel. They have a certain parameter that they're going to stay under as far as the percentage they're taking from your business. But it's an easy payback. And again, it's been working now for a while. And I think we have a lot of happy customers because they are coming back with 80% renewal rate. That's pretty good. I guess our next slide, and I think that might be you, Erica.
Yeah. So just in closing, we recognize that every client, every restaurateur has a unique situation. And so, we're here to help guide you through everything, every step of the way, and really come up with a customized solution for you. To go over some of the resources that are available to you through the WHA, I've copied a link here for you that will take you straight to the application to get started. This is the application that Steve mentioned. It'll ask you some basic demographic information. And then once you submit that to us, one of our agents will reach out to you to schedule that appointment and go through the rest of the process of collecting documents, connecting you with lenders, and presenting you with options. So at this point, I think we can open it up for questions, if there are any.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, go ahead and type them in the Q&A below. I was sitting here coming up with questions to ask you, but you have answered them as they went along.
Well, hopefully I did.
What is the most common question you receive from your clients?
It's really hard to say because each person's needs are different. Most of them are with time constraint. How fast can I get the money? That's why I always make that very clear. This is a very fast process. 24 hours, you're going to hear either yes or no, where a bank might take 30 days after you've given them a mountain of paperwork. Now, again, we always talk about, the things that are different from a bank. First of all, this is uncollateralized money. There's no assets put to it. It is a personal guarantee, but that's against the business. So again, unlike a bank, putting up the house, the car, the dog, or whatever, but in the meantime, no collateralization here. And, the thing is also, it's accessible. Again, I owned restaurants. The only thing I got from my bank was change. So you want to be able to access capital as a restaurateur at any time when needed. You want to make sure that's in place. Well, now your members have something in place. They may not need capital today, but eventually they're going to be looking for it. And that's when we can be there for them.
All right. Also, along with this link here at the bottom, if you want to go to our website, wahospitality.org, we also have links to Adesso's website as well, so you can easily find it. Thank you both so much for coming in and talking to us. And if there are any questions, go ahead and reach out to us, news@wahospitality.org, and we can forward this on to Steve and Erica if you have questions. All right. Well, thanks again. And we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care.